Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. It's me Vinod and I'm sitting in Bangalore and I'm recording remotely again. I'll be doing this for the rest of the week, so get used to this till I'm back in Chennai probably next week and you'll see some videos from the studio again. So I'm sorry if the camera quality isn't so great and the audio quality isn't so great. I do hope my team is able to clean up the audio as much as possible so you're able to hear me loud and clear. Yes, I did read the comments yesterday. I did find it funny, even me looking at my t-shirt which I was wearing. It was rather funny. I did look like an F1 racer. Thanks for the comments, guys. And if I had to choose an F1 team, I would guess I would be a Ferrari. I'm a Ferrari man, always been. My generation's from the Schumacher generation. So it'd be interesting to see you viewers, which F1 team are you guys into? Do you watch F1? And do you think it's really a sport? Because that debate is still there. I do think it's a sport. And what do you think? Which team do you support right now in F1? Or which driver do you think deserves to be on the leaderboard? Anyway, I digress. What did I want to talk about today? What did I want to hit on today was the fact that since the elections have ended, the market is buoyant, and our bull run seems to be running further out the door, out the gate, out the field. The Indian market seems primed for another round of huge IPOs coming. And there are a lot of big IPOs coming, and should you be investing is a question. Me and Anand are of the nature that we don't think IPOs offer great value for retail investors who are looking at it in the long term. A lot of you look at IPOs as an opportunity to subscribe, and if you're allotted on the day of allotment and trading, you try and book your profits and dump it. Hey, fair enough. That is an option. And if you're looking to make a lot of money, I don't see that as an opportunity of making a lot of money because purely on chance getting allotted, and the volume of allotment also depends on how much you're forking out. So if you're looking to make serious money, I'm talking about, doing this kind of thing where you're picking on IPOs and selling it on the day of allotment and day of trade, you're not going to be making huge amounts of wealth. You have to hold on to these stocks. So then gets into the question, are these IPOs being put out there in the hope that investors invest and they're looking for money, capital for their business, and they're trying to expand on their existing business or trying to offer something to investors as an opportunity for business to participate and to look for growth and capital return long term. But that nature of IPOs, like what we saw in Infosys, even Reliance way back in the days of Dhirubhai Ambani, are all pretty much over. Now, what seems to be happening, seen in India especially, is most of these investments seem to be either A, people have already invested in these companies through private equity, they're looking for an exit, or two, they're huge multinational companies who are operating in India for some time and they seem to think Indian market is ripe for picking and they want to scoop some value out of Indian market because our retail investors and domestic and foreign investors in India seem to be overvaluing our stocks. Our market has gone from fair value to overvalue some time back and seems to be running further and further down the track of being overvalued. And when you do see corrections in the market, in the index, the broader market, if you've been investing in individual shares, you will see a lot more volatility in these individual shares. So that kind of gives you an idea on how our market is positioned right now. So who are these big IPOs which we're looking at? Well, according to a Business Standard article which came out, around 30 IPOs are coming and they plan to grab around 50,000 crores worth of cash from the Indian retailers, investors, and other investors, like I said. So that's a lot of money which is being removed from the table. And who are these companies? Of course, the blue star out of this whole lot is the Hyundai IPO, which they're hoping to remove around $3.5 billion from the Indian market through their IPO offering. Other than that, you have the Swiggy, which is cleared for IPO, and you're looking at maybe other companies are Haldiram's is another one which is looking to do an IPO in India. Other than that, there are a lot of small ones which are out there. Of course, the one which is making a lot of news and headlines is the Ola IPO. Should you be going into the Ola IPO? Well, I would not advise you to do the Ola IPO. I would ask you to miss it and avoid it. And there was a nice article which came in Morning Context. If you guys go read it, it's a long, elaborate article which highlights very nicely why there are problems with the Ola IPO and why you should not be looking to investing in it. Some of the main things which I wanted to highlight for those of you who are not going to read it or don't have access to Morning Context is one, they seem to be reliant on only one product. Two, they really don't have to be dominating the market as they're claiming. And three is the founder himself seems to be moving on to other projects. He came from Ola cabs into Ola electric vehicles, and now he seems to be moving on to other projects. And there seems to be a lot of iteration on the top of the pyramid, meaning the people who are running the company seem to be changing jobs very often and don't seem to be sticking around very long. So, and the amount of debt kind of signals to, as a investor looking at prospects, that this company doesn't offer much for a retail investor. I suggest you read it, and it's a wonderful article if you can get your hands on it. And it'll give you an idea, overview on how to analyze these kind of IPOs, not only Ola, but all the other IPOs which are coming in India, how you should look at it and how you should deep dive into it before you decide to put your hard earned money on the table. Remember, we're not into gambling. If you're into gambling, I'm sure there are much better ways to gamble your money than doing it in the stock market. So I'm assuming that the fact that you're watching these videos and following Anand especially is because you're looking at to invest your money and make your money grow in the long term. So out of all these IPOs, none of them seem to be of any great value. Even the Hyundai IPO, where Anand had spoken about it on, I think, last Sunday, but I did a video with him. He explains very well why the Hyundai IPO is also of not great value for a retail investor. And if you're very keen on investing in Hyundai as a company, that you're better off investigating the parent company in South Korea, where it's currently undervalued. If you really do believe in the Hyundai company and the Hyundai brand, and investing in the Korean parent company not only gives you access to the Indian Hyundai, it gives you access to Hyundai all over the world because it's a parent company, and also gives you access to all the domestic things Hyundai is doing in Korea itself. Because those of you who do know Hyundai will know that Hyundai does more than car manufacturing, and especially in Korea, they're a very large company there. So even that is something to keep in mind if you are planning to, like I said, one, private equities are trying to escape, trying to get an exit clause because the valuations are very good. And one which I really wanted to hit on, which is making also the rounds in news, is a great company called Leela Kapinski, which is a hotel company in very popular in India. And those of you who are in Chennai would know Leela, which is there in the MRC Nagar area. A few years back, the company was in a lot of trouble. The whole hotel empire of theirs were up for sale. They've been brought over by a private equity and they were trying to cut it into pieces and sell it. And right next to the MRC Nagar property, there was a business center building which they had, which way back at the time, I think they sold it to Reliance. I'm not sure which Reliance bought it out. I think it was either the Ambani's, Anil Ambani, or either Mukesh. I'm not sure which one, which was there in the front. And the back hotel was up for sale for a very long time. They were quoting a high price at the time, and there didn't seem to be any takers. From that scenario, Leela has managed to do a complete turnaround because there is a high demand for high-end luxury hotels in India, especially hotels which have wellness tied with them, meaning spas and wellness treatment centers in their property. That seems to be in high demand, and this has led to a revival of Leela's fortunes, to the point where now the private equity, instead of selling it, they're keen on looking at an IPO because the Indian market is so valued, and Indian retail investors seem to be having a huge appetite, especially if you see Taj hotels, Indian hotels, the way the price movement of the share has been for quite some time, it is going through the roof. And there seems to be apparently no other reason than investors feeling that there is no end to this rainbow and there's more than a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. I am not of this frame of mind. I don't think Anand is also of this frame of mind. We look at value, and right now, most of these hotel companies are overvalued, and I can understand why the equity firm that owns Leela is keen to going on an IPO route, because they can find an easier exit than trying to sell out the whole Leela portfolio to anybody, or even chop it and sell it. It's more painful, and it's much easier to go through the IPO route. Another company which is also looking at this is Coca-Cola, and I'm sure you've seen the news about that, where they've been reaching out. Coca-Cola's privately 100% owned subsidiary in India. They're trying to sell a portion of it off to one of the four families. I think it's Jubilant or Haldiram's or someone. You can read the news. It's there. Coca-Cola is trying to raise $1 billion, trying to sell a small portion of it out. And in future date, once this probably happens, they'll probably even look at doing an IPO. And I'm sure whomsoever they're offering this small portion for a colossal amount of money will be promising them, then don't worry, in the future, we'll definitely do an IPO in a year or two, and you can exit at that point of time at these eye-watering evaluations. So this is the main reason why IPOs are so much in demand in India. Yes, if you do see value in any of these IPOs, I would love to read about it in the comments. Do put down in the comments which IPO you think we're wrong about, me and Anand, and you would like us to talk about this because you think there's tremendous value in this IPO and retail investors should not miss buying these IPOs, subscribing to these IPOs, and holding it for long term. Please keep it in mind that we're talking about subscribing to the IPO and selling it and dumping it on the day of listing or booking a profit within a month or two. We're talking about subscribing to IPOs and you hold on to these IPOs for long term and see potential growth going forward. I'm sure you've seen many IPOs which were launched in the last couple of years and then they crashed, went into doldrums. I don't need to beat a dead horse, and I'm sure you understand why we are saying we're looking at IPOs of quality and value which we can hold on to the long term. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this and your other comments about my attire and the way I'm presenting myself. I do love reading all of them. Thanks for watching the video as always, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Bye.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.